carmine is going to be one of the last things I talk about. It's really an important subject to me about insects and the beetles and that are in it to make our pinks and our reds. So I'm going to talk about that last. So then we have the dyes. It's F, D, and C is food, drug, and cosmetics, but there's D and C. And a lot of times come from coal tars. And you can get them from minerals, actually, and also like grapes, beets, different things like that. There's so many options out there rather than using dyes, which are very toxic. Lecithin, eggs, or they're genetically modified. That's another big thing. So non-GMO soy, you can do that. Magnesium stearate is also a big one, but the stearic acid, lots of times, who would think, I would, well, the accountants actually, of course, looked into this, but but it's like, who would think magnesium stearate came from an animal? But it came from the stearic acid, came from an animal. It's the most common form. And so, like for our company, we do all our research to make sure where our things are coming from. And it's really interesting just to have things. Silicones are synthetic, and you can get plant oils. They're cheap, synthetic, horrible for your skin, make you break out, all that kind of stuff. Nanoparticles are another big one right now. So, and there's no way to know. You have to call the company. If they don't have an answer, it's not good. But it's so, that's like I said, I worked in nanotechnology, and if I thought they had the research done or anything, I would use it to make things softer, they give a higher SPF, that kind of stuff. But they actually have, the research is out there. For example, for nano TiO2 is showing DNA damage in animals, and that's the animal research going on as well. And to that extent, it's still being used very widely in mineral makeup, very, very widely. Okay, here's a few more. I know it's getting kind of long, so there's a few more that are in skin and hair care, like biotin from milk, collagen. Actually, that's a big one. It's in animals. It comes from animal tissue, and there's no known facts that it even works on our skin, that it even absorbs. But there's a lot of alternatives. Sodium lauryl sulfate and some similar ones. There's a lot of good options. Lanolin, actually, that's in a lot of products as well. From the oil glands of sheep, from wool, and it can be replaced with something healthy like plant oils, and it's actually known to be a huge irritant. Bee products, that's really, and it's really sad, is they're selectively bred and killed. Cheap sugar is substituted for the stolen honey, and millions die as a result. So for bee pollen, for the beeswax, the legs are often, sadly, legs are often torn off by the pollen collection. So there's plant waxes, easily replaceable. No need to use beeswax. The stearic acid is another one that coconut oil can easily replace. Keratin is found in tons of hair products, tons, to build your hair up, to make it stronger. And it's from ground up horns, hooves, feathers, and quills. Soy protein or almond oil, you can do that. So, and then also beware of anything that just says natural sources, because it doesn't mean it came from a plant. It could have came from an animal. Okay, this is just briefly, is the water plus personal care, is what I was saying, is that you do need a preservative. So you can never be perfect on your ingredient list, like especially when you get water in there. So with the resources that are coming later, there might be some higher score, like when you look it up, like might have a higher score or something like that, which is like more dangerous, but it doesn't mean it's a really small percentage, but you do need it. It's better than having bacteria growing on your face. So I do want to say that you just can't, once you put organics plus water, you have a breeding ground for bacteria. It's better to have a little bit of a preservative, not parabens, which are very dangerous, but there's some other options that work. And I always say, when starting over your personal care, start with start with what you use the most and what's left on versus rinsed off. Like it's not, so that's why I like makeup, and then I lotion, then shampoo, conditioner, like if you're not getting on your scalp. That's not as bad as far as when you're really going through your personal care. And deodorant, I put a big star because it's very dangerous, and I still have yet to find a natural one that works. So that's why I put a big star. If anyone knows of one.
Baking soda works really well.
Baking soda?
Yeah.
Wonder. It is the miracle. Baking soda is. It does. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look all that pretty, of course, if
That's,
if you don't have clothes on, but I find that it works absolutely amazing.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
I have one that's a blend of rosemary and lavender oil and extra lemon oil.
Ooh, that sounds so good. I need to know. It's like an Eli with his 2 dogs. Okay. Okay, this is what I was saying was going to be one of the most, for me, was one of the most kind of, I've stayed away from the first time we started our company from Carmine. And you'd never know, I mean, that's all it says on the label, or it can be called Crimson Lake, Cochineal, or Natural Red 40. It's also in food a lot. And it's, so cosmetics and food. And so there's the female, there's the beetles. This is how they nest on the, they nest on the cactus plant. Oh, and we actually have us show what the percentages are like. So the harvest, it's the they actually use only the pregnant females, because that's when they're red is the most red. The males breed and they die within days. So when they're most fertile, it's the females, pregnant females, and they're killed hot water, then sun dried or baked directly in the sun. Then then they get the pigment that just cracks dissolved in a solvent and filtered. But this is what we're just showing right now, is that 70,000 female insects produce 1 pound of carmine or cochineal. And I can tell you, even being from a small company, how quickly, show what 1 pound is, how quickly we go through. Oh, you have that. Do you have that? Oh, yeah. So this is, we don't have any because we don't use carmine, but this is just zinc oxide. This is a pound of zinc oxide. And so this is 1,000 beetles. So 70,000 of these equals this. And they're the way they're collected is just, to me, I mean, we go through that as a smaller company so quickly. And so that's why the population of insects required for annual consumption amounts to 6 times the world's human population. I was floored. I did not know that number. It's on a lot of maintain lists, and that's what carmine is. And there's an easy replacement. You know, we don't get the reds and the pinks as easily. It's hard. We have to get around. But we found minerals that work, iron oxides, things like that, natural things that work. And it's way. I just can't imagine for pinks and reds doing that. So that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Where are these cochineal farms?
Where they, these are actually the Canary Islands. The Canary Islands is one of the biggest places.
Mexico used to be a big one. And the Spaniards were doing it. It was one of the main products that was being exported to Spain after the conquest.
Really?
Yes, that far back.
Wow, I knew it went far back, but wow, that's incredible.
Further back.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, thank you.